If you're studying abroad in London sometime soon, lucky you, then my fellow YouTuber Gabi Ann is going to tell you the top things that you need to know before you come to study in London.
Hey guys, my name is Gabi. Now I actually went to school in London for the full 4 years of university, and most of these tips are things that I wish I had known before making me move abroad. The first tip that I have for you is to try not to overstress about getting your student visa. Once you are accepted into a program or a school, you won't just be left out on your own to figure it out. My university provided a lot of help in giving details on who to contact and kind of just a rundown of how to actually get the visa. Tip number 2 is that if you are going to be needing some extra money while you're in London, then most student visas will actually allow you to work up to 20 hours a week. Now my school actually had a specific page that listed jobs in the area for students, and I know a lot of people that managed to get jobs at local restaurants and cafes and shops, and one of my roommates actually managed to get several babysitting jobs through care.com. Otherwise, it may just be a matter of going into shops and asking around and even keeping an eye out for help wanted signs. The third tip is to take advantage of your student Oyster card discount. So basically the student Oyster card looks like this, and it's something that you can get through the TFL website for a small fee, which I think it costs maybe like £10. And if you get a monthly pass, you will only have to pay £100 for the whole month. If you are going to be using the public transportation a lot, just using the pay-as-you-go method can really add up after a while. The fourth tip that you should know is that the grading system in the UK is slightly different, at least when you compare it to the American grading system. So basically, don't freak out too much if you're graded like a 60% on a certain assignment, because that is basically the percentage equivalent of like a B or maybe like a C+. Tip number 5 is that if you are going to be studying in London for a longer term, maybe like a year or more, then make sure you find a bank that won't charge you a monthly fee. Now I ended up going with Santander Bank and opened one of their student accounts, and I was actually being charged a fee of like £5 a month, which I really didn't think twice about because I thought that all banks charged a monthly fee, but apparently that's not the case. Just make sure you do your research beforehand. Tip number 6 is that there are tons and tons of student discounts to take advantage of. You basically just have to use your student ID card that you're given, and then you register with a site called UniDays. You can download their app and you'll be able to see just how many student discounts there are. You can use it on stores like H&M, Topshop, Urban Outfitters, even certain restaurants you can use it in. Tip number 7 is specifically for Americans. If you know that you're going to be traveling around a lot, then you may want to actually consider getting a contract with T-Mobile. We have an option that allows you to get unlimited text and data internationally. So like literally not even just in the UK, if you are traveling around Europe, you'll be able to access the internet and make texts without being charged a fee. There is a small fee for making phone calls, so you'll just want to make sure you're connected to Wi-Fi for that. My family has been on this plan for years, and it has seriously been such a lifesaver. Tip number 8 is to try not to blow all your money on alcohol. Now, as you may know, the drinking age in London is 18, so if you are going for the first time, then you may be tempted to go completely overboard and go to the pubs and the clubs every night. And I don't mean to sound like your mother when I say this, but London is expensive as it is, and having drink after drink can really add up after a while. So if you really want to make the most out of your experience, then just make sure that you're saving enough money to go traveling and to experience all that London has to offer outside of the pubs. Tip number 9 is to try not to stress too much about packing. I've seen a lot of people that take up like half the room in their suitcases with food that they bring from home or just tons and tons of clothes. But I've learned over time that it's really not necessary because since London is such a diverse and big city, you're sure to find any food that you're missing from home at any local shop or a grocery store. And B, if you end up forgetting something and need extra clothes or toiletries, Primark is sure to have your back. It's basically a really popular clothing store chain within the UK, but they basically sell really affordable and trendy clothes. So you'll probably do shopping anyway, so just keep that in mind. And the final tip is probably going to sound a little bit cliche, but whether you are studying in London for a semester or for 4 years, just make sure you really enjoy your time there because it will seriously fly by. And I also think it's very important to make sure you're balancing your schoolwork with actually getting out and having fun and traveling. To be completely honest, I don't feel as though I took as much away from the classes that I was taking so much as I did from the experience of just living in a new city, figuring out public transportation systems by myself, meeting new people, and overall just learning how to be more independent. So those are all my tips. Again, I really hope that you found some of those helpful, and thank you to Jess for having me on your channel.
Thanks, Gabi, for those great tips for studying in London. And if you have any questions for me or Gabi, make sure you leave them down in the comments of this video. And if you click up here, you can subscribe to Gabi's channel and then watch this video next.